What is good, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy Big Sin, and I'm here with the homie J-Blaq. What's good, Jay?
What's good, man? You know that we live on the air. Gonna talk about some NFL action for this weekend. I'm hyped for this, man. What about you?
Man, there are some surprises, some not surprises. There are some just teams who are supposed to be good that are not. Um, so let's just start off with that Thursday night game, that Carolina Panthers Denver Broncos game. What were your thoughts coming out of that?
Cam Newton damn near got his head taken off. That was my thoughts about that. I mean, NFL did nothing to protect him. I'm like, really? I mean, that was the only really reason why they lost because Cam Newton blew the game because he couldn't think straight.
That motherfucker sitting there like Stephen A. Smith after fucking Kevin Durant signed with the Warriors, like, no.
Exactly. Exactly. It was all bad. And so, I mean, I can't get out. Hold on, wait a minute. I can't get out this damn door.
He said, no, you stay.
They said, nah, you ain't. Hold on.
I'm in the gym.
Huh? Like, damn, really? Hold on, let me try this again. I'm trying to get out this damn technical difficulties, people. This is why it's live.
Welcome to live internet streams.
Oh, I gotta press the button to exit. Oh, there we go. No, there.
You gotta be smarter than the door, my friend.
All right, hold on. See,
Got you all discombobulated.
I can't leave. What the hell? Can I scan the door? Hold on.
He said, no, you stay. You stay down.
Hey, my membership dues. Hold on. Yeah, you just can't hold me hostage up in this mug, guys. Hold on.
Well, while Mr. Black is trying to figure out his door situation, I'm gonna talk about the Carolina Panthers and what they continue to fail to do when they play the Denver Broncos.
Yes, tell me, please. Tell us. There we go.
Holy shit.
I'm free.
Woohoo!
I'm free.
Anyway.
I'm free, master. Go ahead.
Cam Newton has struggled seriously against that defense. I think Wade Phillips is in that man's head easily.
Yeah, I mean the pressure. Wade Phillips knows how to deal with mobile quarterbacks. He dealt with that all throughout the season last year, and because of that, I mean dealing with a big mobile quarterback like Cam Newton is just nothing but putting the right kind of pressure on him, putting the blitzes on him. Wade Phillips is from a blitzing family. Bum Phillips wasn't afraid to throw a blitz on somebody, and neither is Wade. So, I mean, that's just the way it is. And Wade Phillips is the master of that blitz. I mean, he made that Cowboys defense respectable. So you can't believe with the talent that they got in Denver, they were doing some damage, and they came to play again as usual. So big ups to Wade Phillips and the Broncos defense. They put it on Cam. They did what they were supposed to do.
So my question for you is, how did who was it? Plaxico Burress shoot himself in the leg, go to prison, never play in the NFL again. Akeem Talib shoots himself in the leg, and he's in the starting lineup this season.
Hey, because it was in New York, I guess. I don't know. I mean, they figured they probably got so high.
Plaxico played for the Giants, dog.
They said, hey, you know how New York, them gun laws, man, Remember, we're talking about a state that legalized marijuana versus a state that won't even allow you to carry a gun for your own personal safety, damn near.
All right, so what were your early thoughts of Trevor Siemian in his play in that first game?
Shades of Alex Smith. He's a good game manager, like old Alex Smith, not the Alex Smith that somehow can actually win games, which is something else we'll talk about a little later. But game manager Alex Smith from the 2011 49ers. That's exactly what he was. So, I mean, he did what he was supposed to do. He didn't make too many mistakes. He managed the game well and did exactly what a Broncos quarterback should do. Did what Mark Sanchez couldn't do, obviously. So,
well, Mark Sanchez took a knee on fourth down in practice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Why am I playing for the Cowboys now? That's why.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right, move on to one of the surprise close games of this weekend: the Green Bay Packers and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Packers have no defense,
which we know. I mean, and that's something that. Remember I said last year when Jacksonville was taking advantage of teams that didn't have a defense, that spread offense that they run in the college-style offense with Blake Bortles behind the helm is dangerous. You see, they put up – remember that game last year in Tennessee where they put up like a ridiculous amount of points? Well, I think towards the end of the season –
does not have a defense at all.
Yeah, and I mean, if you have a lackluster defense, an under 15 to 32 defense, you gonna get blown. You gonna get played by the Jacksonville Jaguars. They are not playing this season. The flip side of that is Jacksonville has no defense, and
Yeah, which is sad because they do have a lot of talent on the defensive side of the ball.
yeah, they just don't have the right scheme to deal with like slot guys like Jordy Nelson and all them cats. So,
But when Aaron
um,
Rodgers is making a play where he's getting dragged down by his jersey and still somehow gets it around the defender into the end zone, there's really not much you can do about that.
well, you remember, shoot, what was that when they played the Lions last year? That ridiculous touchdown pass.
Hail Mary at the end of the game.
Yeah, when he should have died and instead they scored. Shoot. Yeah, hey, Aaron Rodgers is a magician.
That's true. You think Jacksonville can turn it around this season?
Oh yeah, Jacksonville is still well, I was initially going to say they're the best team in the AFC South, but the Colts are back. Or Andrew Luck is back, I should say.
Yeah, he's the only one.
Yeah, exactly. Apparently, everybody else took the week off.
Because they're like Irk Nowitzki, they have no D.
Exactly.
Now we're going to get to the game you alluded to earlier with your former quarterback, Alex Smith, bringing the Chiefs back from being down 21-0. And just blowing out the Chargers in the second half. That was amazing.
And it's crazy because you had texted me talking about Melvin Gordon, and I went and looked at the highlights. I was like, where the hell was this dude last year? Where the hell is this?
That motherfucker was still in a college coma.
Exactly. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, what happened is that they actually got an offensive coordinator that knew how to actually use Melvin Gordon the right way, and they did it.
Pound him at 5-yard line up, pound that motherfucker into the red zone.
Mm-hmm. It worked up until Alex Smith found his swagger. And
I am an NFL quarterback, ain't I? Hold on.
Exactly. Like,
I got you, Andy. I got you.
And he pulled off a great quarterback. What do you have? 350, 360?
So you also got to test Spencer Ware and the way he played, the running back.
Well,
why did they keep Jamal Charles on this team?
Well, Jamal Charles was the feature back up until Spencer Ware and the other cat they filled in last year, and they're doing their thing again this year. Now they got a three-headed monster at running back.
Well, that's it. Jamal Charles can stay healthy, which he never does.
Well, exactly. That's why it's good to have a three-headed monster instead of a one-headed one, and praying that the other two actually work. So,
the first one's a little cockeyed, but that's okay.
It's all right.
Now we're going to move on to the Oakland Raiders and the Saints. The biggest decision of the weekend. Jack Del Rio saying, "You know what? Fuck this. We're going for 2. Fuck an extra point. We're going to win this game right now."
Hey, he did that with David Gerard and Byron Leftwich back in the day, man. When a 2-point conversion came back, you know he has a penchant of with the balls he calls, man. Hey, big ups to Jack Del Rio. He did what he's supposed to do. But I tell you, man, big ups to David Carr, man. That man, he's been on a roll. But I tell you something else. If the Saints can find just one person that wants to play defense, just one.
So they did have one, but he broke his leg, and now he's out for the season.
Oh, yeah, well, then that's what happened. Now, you see, Drew Brees is like the fantasy head coach's wet dream. He's still going to put up the stats regardless of if the Saints are good or whether the Saints suck. He's still going to put up 3 touchdowns, 300-plus yards a game.
Well, we knew coming into the season that Drew Brees was going for 5,000 yards. He does it every fucking year. It don't really matter anymore.
Yeah, and I don't even know any receiver that's on the team. I can't even name one off the top of my head.
You got Cooks who went for that 98-yard touchdown.
Yeah,
that's the only one I can name offhand.
I couldn't even remember that name. What you talking about? So I mean, but that tells you how good Drew Brees is. And, I mean, there's a couple quarterbacks that we're going to talk about that can play with no-name receivers, and we're going to talk about them. But Drew Brees is right now still the best quarterback in the NFL at, 36, 37 years old right now. So
now we're going to move on to one of the failures of taking advantage of the Patriots having nobody on their team worth mentioning, the New York Jets and the Cincinnati Bengals. It was a fantastic game. The Jets killed Andy Dalton. 7 sacks on this man, but yet he still – found A.J. Green, who set Revis Island on fire and said, "Fuck that place."
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, remember I had my reservations because I said that without Hugh Jackson on that offense, I was going to be worried. But, man, Andy Dalton then took it to another level. Maybe they wipe him in a playoff game this year.
Do you? Is it Andy Dalton or was it AJ Green saying, you know what, I got this?
A little bit of both. You know, they have some excellent chemistry. I think it's kind of like when Montana and Rice used to take over games back in the day, or when Aikman and Urban used to take games over back in the day, or hell, when Chris Miller and Andre Bad Moon Rising used to take games over back in the day. It's just, I mean, if we go, Brady and Moss used to take over games when things just wasn't looking the way that they were supposed to. Just give it to the man. I got you, you got me. We gonna ride this together, and that's exactly what happened.
But can they both stay healthy for a full season, which hasn't happened yet since they've both been in the NFL?
I think they can stay healthy. I just worry that they could probably go 15-1 and still not win a playoff game.
That's true, because Marvin Lewis does not win playoff games.
Yeah, there you go.
Still has a job. I don't know. They keep on extending this motherfucker. They could have hired Lovie Smith and probably won a playoff game.
That's true, but I mean, I can't knock that Marvin Lewis is the great regular season coach. I wonder if they can find a coach that works in the playoffs. Probably a West, like maybe they can find George Seifert somewhere that knows how to win in the playoffs. Maybe
come in as a temporary coach for a couple weeks.
Yeah. Playoff head coach, grab Tom Coughlin. He's not doing anything right now. I mean, they could.
All right, we're going to move on to the Factory of Sadness versus the Philadelphia Eagles. That man is hurt again.
Oh, man. Yeah,
he lost his nickname. He is no longer RG3. He's the Plastic Man. All right?
Yeah. Out for what? At least a minimum of 8 weeks till mid-November.
Well, they say 8 to 10 weeks, but they'll be shocked if he actually plays again this season.
Yeah. What has he got? A broken, torn shoulder labrum. Yep. Or not torn, partially torn. And they initially thought it was a sprain, and then they found out, we got some serious shit going on. Who's the Browns' backup quarterback? We forgot to draft a quarterback because we thought RG3 was going to take us to the promised land.
Well, you got Hugh Jackson and you got Josh McCown. Good thing they didn't trade Josh McCown when people wanted him.
Well, Josh McCown is going to die.
They don't have an offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, of all the things they probably should have addressed, they didn't do that. It's going to be a rough season for the Browns. The last thing Cleveland got, they got their NBA championship. Now it's back to another 50 years of mediocrity. Sorry, Cleveland.
I love the sign that was on the side of the thing that says, "Don't worry, we still got LeBron." Exactly.
That's all they need. They'll be fine.
All right. Now we are going with the Sean Hill-led Minnesota Vikings against the dismal Tennessee Titans team. Marcus Mariota looked like shit.
What the hell happened? I'm about to ask you. Can you delete the segment that we talked about the Tennessee Titans?
Wait. You called it though. You said Adrian Peterson might not go for 100 yards. He went for 26, and Minnesota still blowing these motherfuckers out. My God, what is going on in Tennessee?
I don't know. We were so hyped up about Mike Munchak saying this is a different Tennessee team. We're getting rid of the slackers and we're getting rid of the bad people and blah, 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 blah.
They replaced the good players with the bad players.
Yeah. Well, all I saw was a bunch of slackers and bad people on the damn team playing for 60 minutes. Tennessee didn't deserve that. This was not the Tennessee Titans team that we needed, okay? It's not the one we deserved either.
And it's obvious to me that Marcus Mariota took a step back during the offseason because adding a Derrick Henry, adding a DeMarco Murray hurt him because he's not – I don't know what it is. He just did not look like the quarterback we saw last year.
Well, because he was used to not having any weapons and making things happen on his own. They now built an offense to where now we can use your weapons, but the focus needs to be back on Marcus Mariota making plays. And I think they're worried that if Marcus Mariota gets hurt, they'll be back in the situation where they were in towards the end of last year. And maybe he hasn't probably healed from that injury that he had towards the end of the year. That could still be affecting him. Who knows?
Yeah, but he originally got hurt against the Patriots last year.
Yeah, and it's definitely not the same Marcus Mariota that was happened before that because he was still electric and still making plays, and he's not doing that right now. So,
I mean, DeMarco Murray did look good, but that Minnesota defense, them motherfuckers came to play.
Yeah, well, that was the thing now. So imagine they'll be able to put up more points with Sam Bradford possibly at the helm because Sean Hill managed the game very well, but Sam Bradford ain't afraid to sling that ball. We know that from his time in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think we're going to get Sean Hill probably for one more game, probably this game against Green Bay.
Yeah,
And then we'll see Sam Bradford probably week 3 or week 4.
yeah,
I know they're not going to rush him because they're not worried about it because when Bridgewater went down, it became kind of a throwaway season, even though everybody predicted them for the Super Bowl.
yeah.
But, I think, unlike what everybody else says, I think Sam Bradford is manageable as long as his shoulder stays attached to his body.
Well, his shoulder and his
over the last 5 years.
Yeah, I mean, the shoulders and his knees, man. I mean, as long as he can do a 3-step drop back and throw the ball without getting touched, maybe, I think he'll be okay. But that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, it is. Now we're going to move on to Brock Osweiler and those Texans taking care of business against the Chicago Bears.
The Chicago Bears had that game up until that Jay Cutler interception, and it seemed like the wind got sucked out of the team. And that's
what the Bears are known for, Jay Cutler just flinging it and going into the opponent's arms?
Yeah, but that's usually supposed to happen in the fourth quarter, not the third. Yeah. Usually if you get the wind sucked out of you, it's supposed to happen towards the last 8 minutes, and you're supposed to blow the game from there, okay?
Oh, okay.
This interception came in the third, and it seemed like the Bears just gave up on life. They probably figured it's another Jay Cutler season. And then
unfortunately for Chicago, it is.
Yeah.
Because Detroit won, Green Bay won, and Minnesota won.
Yep. Back to the bottom of the division you go.
Yes, now let's talk about the so-called return of Mike Wallace, Baltimore Ravens.
Oh yeah, that dude.
Off.
Well, this is what you got to look at. Remember, defense. Yeah. Well, we look at this. Remember, Joe Flacco's good with deep threats. That's why Torrey Smith was so successful, and that's why Steve Smith was successful at the beginning of the season last year. The speedy deep threats, Joe Flacco knows how to find them. Mike Wallace is a speedy deep threat. Can nobody question whether that man can run and catch a ball and be?
Doing this since he played in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. So it's just business as usual for this man now. Now he has a weapon. If you got a fantasy team, you better be picking up Mike Wallace if you ain't got him already. He's gonna be putting up numbers.
Yeah, I agree there. And pick up Flacco because he will average 300 a game.
Yeah.
He might turn the ball over, but he will average 300 a game.
Yeah, true.
All right, so we're gonna jump real quick to Jameis Winston doing what Marcus Mariota did in the first game last year, throwing 4 touchdowns, 1 interception against that very bad Falcons defense.
Remember I told you about this Falcons defense. I warned you. I told you. Hey, what did it say? I told you.
You know what Matt Ryan's new nickname is, man?
What?
Matty Ice Cream in the Heat.
Because all he did was melt under pressure.
Oh. Tampa Bay looked great. That team, I believe, if Carolina falters at all this year, Tampa Bay will win that division.
Oh, yeah. I mean, but I said it last year that Jameis Winston is a legitimate quarterback. He does everything. He can run the ball. He can pass the ball. He can sling that ball very well.
They have by crab legs. I know.
I mean, but they got a whole squad of running backs. I don't even know all their names, but I know they can run. They run very well.
But they're led by the muscle hamster, Doug Martin.
Yes, and then now you have you have a healthy Vincent Jackson and a healthy Mike Evans, which I said is if two get healthy, that's a dangerous team. Austin Seferian-Jenkins stepping up on the tight end. That's dangerous, man. The O-line playing well, protecting Winston.
And Winston has confidence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
He came in and he knows this is his team.
Yeah.
And they are going to be a major threat in the NFC this year.
Oh, yes.
Now let's go to what should have been the biggest upset of the weekend, but turned out business as usual. The defensive game of the day, the Miami Dolphins against the Seattle Seahawks. Miami was up for 3/4 of this game. They damn near injured Russell Wilson. But yet he still finds Doug Baldwin in the end zone somehow.
Russell Wilson is the John Cena of the NFL. I mean, you hate his values. You hate the fact that he has a good-looking wife. But you can't deny the fact. Huh?
I said at least he finally got laid.
Yes, that's a good exactly. And you feel and you just hate this.
Went out on him. He's like, oh shit.
It's one of those things you hate this man for being successful, and when he gets injured, you're like, yes, the Seattle Seahawks are gonna go 0-16. Finally. Oh, I'm speaking from a Niners fan perspective. I'm sorry.
It's okay, James. I understand.
But the point is that when you count this fool out, he comes through in the end. I mean, he suffered an ankle injury, rolled through with the ankle injury, and came back and won the game.
Yes, he tried to take his foot.
Yeah, but I think, but that's what Sue was supposed to do. You know that he was the coach was in the pocket, like, take this man out. Here's some extra money for the cash. Take him out. Hey, it didn't happen.
We can't talk about bounties in the NFL no more. Okay.
I'm sorry, Roger Goodell. I'm sorry.
But it is the Miami Dolphins, so fuck them. Anyway. Ryan Tannehill blew it again.
Christine.
He's never good in tight games. Never.
Yeah, Christine Michael looked good. The Dolphins, I don't know. I don't think if Tannehill lasts after this season in Miami, I would be really surprised. He's built for an offense that's not this Miami offense. It's just not going to work, and not in the division that they're in. They can't win 6 games in their division. They can't.
No, not with the Jets and the Patriots there, because that's 4 right there.
Exactly.
Also, Seattle's offensive line, that is a fucking horrendous, man.
They've gotten worse.
They're going to get Russell Wilson killed.
Yeah, I mean, how do you become together as a team? Like that offensive line has been together for what, 4 years now?
Last year they traded their center to get the dumbnuts from New Orleans who keeps getting injured, Jimmy Graham.
Yeah, and then this year they lost their one big offensive tackle. But they made the same scheme. The players that are in that system been there for a while. Yeah. How do you get worse? How do you not get better? I don't get that.
I don't think they can block, man. And in that division, we've seen what the 49ers defense is capable of against the Rams.
Yeah.
The Rams, when they get their shit together, their front 7 is going to hurt that man.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't forget about Arizona. Arizona can still play defense. It's just that
Chandler Jones. He was all over Garoppolo.
Yeah.
Yeah, people forget. I think Seattle forgot that the Patriots gave Chandler Jones to Arizona.
Yeah. And what they going to
coming for Russell Wilson when they get there?
Well, they're going to learn today.
Now we're going to move to the battle of the NFC East. 2 teams that we both do not like, with the Giants and the Cowboys. So, did you have a smile on your face when the Cowboys melted down and lost this game? I did.
Yes, I was only disappointed because the game wasn't as single-handedly decided as it should have been. I predict this.
You know what I liked?
What?
That Victor Cruz caught the game-winning touchdown. That motherfucker has. I like Victor Cruz. I hate the Giants, but I like Victor Cruz. Yeah,
that was very like a special moment for me, just because the story that he told when he was, when the Sandy Hook situation happened and how he was there and helped out the community. I definitely respect that, man. I felt bad when he got injured and had to go through so much hell to get back to 2 surgeries. But I'm glad he's back. But I told you, once he's back, that's going to be the most dangerous offense in the NFL.
Because they can't triple team Odell Beckham when he's on the field.
Yeah. Now, did you see Rashard Jennings step it up when they needed him to grind and get yards? That man, he's turned another level. He's actually legitimized
for the last couple of years.
Yeah, but like seriously now, he's literally legitimized, because that was the one red flag in the Giants game, like in the Giants offense the last 2 years, where they couldn't run the ball, like consistently run the ball for a consistent amount of time. And this last game against the Cowboys, they did exactly that. They ground and pounded. They didn't have to have Eli Manning pass 49, 50 times a game. They don't have to do that anymore, which I think is going to be a good long term for the entire team.
And don't forget, I don't know if he played this Sunday because I really didn't pay attention to the game, to be honest. But they still got Shane Vereen, too.
Yes, they do.
Running back catching the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah, Ben McAdoo's done a hell of a job with that offense, turning the corner with it and making it more ground and pound, saving Eli Manning's shoulder and the receivers for something special later on down the road. So we'll see how it goes.
Now we're going to go to what is the biggest upset of the weekend, in my opinion. the Detroit Lions going into Indianapolis and defeating the Colts handily.
Yeah. Well, this was a big question mark. Remember, we talked about this. We said 2 top flight quarterbacks with no receivers. Well, except the Colts have T.Y. Hilton.
And
but we talked.
Moncrief is good.
Yeah, but then we only the Lions only have Golden Tate.
And
at the time,
one cat they signed from Baltimore last year. Oh shit, Johnson.
Yeah, I think something like that. But the whole thing was like there was a big red flags, but we proved that these 2 quarterbacks are still elite and still can do what they do best, which is to find receivers and get the ball thrown. It's just too bad that on the Colts side that nobody else wanted to play the game, until it was too late, and then by that time, after Andrew Luck got them within striking distance, they still end up losing. Matt Stafford just did his thing like he normally does. He found a way to win, and so.
Andrew Luck found his rookie tight end for the touchdown to go ahead. 5 seconds left. Matt Stafford said, fuck it, and just took him right downfield in the field goal range.
Yep.
And Matt Stafford actually showed finally some leadership by yelling at his receivers, telling them to get the fuck out of bounds and get the fuck down.
Yeah.
No time to bullshit no more.
Yeah, they probably watched the Cowboys game earlier.
Terrence Williams? He's been in the league for, 7 years now and still don't know how to get down?
If he's not cut by week 8, I'd be surprised.
All right, now we're going to go talk about my boys. No Tom Brady, no Rob Gronkowski, no Ninkovich, no Nate Solder. Going to Arizona, Jimmy Garoppolo lit up that first drive, punched the Cardinals in the mouth, and it was Belichick ball after that.
Yeah, remember what I told you on Sunday? I said, not Saturday, I'm sorry. Remember I told you, I said that as long as the Patriots don't turn over the ball, they will win this game.
Well,
because Arizona. Yeah, but I'm talking about like interceptions because interceptions, that secondary, Matthew and them Peterson and them boys, they don't play around because like I said, they'll grab that ball and they'll take it to the house like it was nothing. Fumbles is one thing. With the true turnovers are them interceptions. As long as Jimmy Garoppolo took care of that ball, the Patriots were going to win because Arizona feeds off them turnovers. If they can't get those good turnovers, them interceptions and running back, they can't win. And that's exactly what happened. Garoppolo took care of the ball on his end. Yeah, they had the fumbles, but they took care of the ball. They played Belichick ball like I said they were going to do, and they won that game.
Now, from the opening drive, to me, it looked like Arizona was taken aback after Garoppolo marched them right downfield the way he did.
Yeah.
Arizona was iffy after that. The
Yeah.
defense was on their heels the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Carson Palmer was inconsistent.
Yeah.
The only man who really did his thing was Larry Fitzgerald. That motherfucker is still amazing.
Yeah, well, last year was his renaissance, and he's continuing his renaissance, trying to close out basically a Hall of Fame career at this point. I still think the Cardinals are still the Super Bowl threat in the NFC right now. Would love to probably see a Cardinals Patriots rematch of this game 1, and that'd be kind of ironic that the way we start the season is the way that we end the season, but this time perhaps a Tom Brady versus Carson Palmer, which would be a hell of a matchup to have 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks going against each other, trying to take each other out. You know what I'm saying? I think it's destined to happen like that, but we'll see how it goes. But no, you're definitely right. Jimmy Garoppolo showed poise. He didn't back down. They didn't do the usual rookie, conservative offense. He pulled his balls, tucked them up, and said, "Let's go. I'm gonna grab these balls."
Josh McDaniels said, "You know what? Here, do what you got to do."
Exactly, and that's how it's supposed to be.
Now we're going to move on to the first of the doubleheader from Monday Night Football last night. The Pittsburgh Steelers absolutely slapping around the Washington Redskins. Sorry.
That's exactly why I said that. I said I was worried because without Le'Veon Bell, I was kind of worried. But remember that Roethlisberger takes what he wants. I said that.
In my opinion, Jay Gruden fucked up.
Yeah. Because
the 3 plays where Josh Norman covered Antonio Brown, Antonio Brown did not catch the ball.
Yeah.
The other 10 times Antonio Brown was targeted, he was on that other corner. He roasted that motherfucker.
Yeah, that's and that.
10 for 136 yards on that corner.
Yeah, I mean he needs to go back to the school of the Rex Ryan school of letting your best corner cover the best receiver because apparently he didn't learn.
I mean, I was sitting there watching it, and D'Angelo Williams, that motherfucker's getting better with age.
Yeah, yeah.
I was sitting there watching it. I'm like, why the fuck is Josh Norman staying on that side of the field? Antonio Brown's down here.
I don't know what they were thinking. I honestly don't. I mean, if you know that the best receiver by a mile is on the field, you have your best corner cover him at all times. I don't care what he's doing. I don't care if he's on the sidelines. I want my cornerback sitting on the side, on the outside of the sidelines, just looking at him, staring at him. Like, I see you. I see you. I don't care if you're on the bench. I see you. I see you.
All right. Now we are going to get to your guys' heyday.
Yes.
Evolution of the Los Angeles Rams.
Yes.
By your 49ers. Last year, they did this to the Minnesota Vikings and then went on to have a shitty season, but Minnesota turned the corner and went straight up.
Well, I knew that Minnesota was a lot better than what they played last year. The Rams, I don't think so. Not with Case Keenum at the helm. Case Keenum was at the helm last year towards the end of the season, and they did absolutely nothing. Nothing plus nothing equals nothing.
What the fuck is up with Jeff Fisher? He trades 7 draft picks to go draft Jared Goff. And, just for putting on some street clothes, you're not going to play. Really, motherfucker?
You should have had him out in the street clothes, and then you're going to sit there and tell the man, he's not ready yet, and blah, blah, blah. He literally told the media that he's not ready. What's so bad?
So Case Keenum was ready for 10 punts and 2 interceptions?
Apparently they're
better than that, in my opinion.
Yeah, Jared Goff could have stepped up in street clothes better than what Case Keenum did. I mean, damn, he should have just donated. Case Keenum should have just donated his pads and his jersey because he didn't deserve wearing it to begin with. He didn't. It looked like an NFL quarterback to me. He looked very, very semi-pro like. Yes.
Remember, he did start in Houston for half a season.
Yes. Unfortunately, and the Houston fans, they don't remember that. You ask a Houston fan, they'll be like, "Who? That never happened."
Who the hell's that?
But let's really talk about that Niners defense. I don't want to go into the offense so much because Carlos Hyde did his thing. That Niners defense, that young and old hungry defense, a bunch of rookies with a bunch of veteran players just out there having fun. The Armstead is just out there murdering fools.
Oh, that motherfucker, he's huge, man. That kind of makes me wish they still had that other cat, Alden Smith still. Because man, Justin Smith were next to each other. Woo, that was magic.
Good times, man. Good times. But shit happens. But I wish Patrick Willis was still on the team. But I'm good though. I'm happy. I'm happy that the defense is having fun. I think the defense is kind of going to be like Denver. They're going to be the reason why we stay in games if our quarterback situation goes south.
I'm going to give – I never thought I'd say this in a million years. I'm going to give Blaine Gabbert credit. He actually looked confident for the first time in his career last night. When he brought down the ball to run, it wasn't a forced run. He knew what the hell he was doing.
Yeah.
First time I can say he's done that since I've been watching that man play football.
Yeah. Yeah, Blaine Gabbert did his thing. I'm not going to lie about that. And I think that, and I said from last year, he's exuded some confidence. But last year we had an offense that was a bottom basic offense. Chip Kelly's offense is a little bit more complicated, and the quarterbacks that are on that team right now, they've learned that offense, and that's why they're still there. You obviously seen that Driscoll isn't on the team no more for good reason because the last 2 preseason games he was just garbage. But Blaine Gabbert is doing his thing. If he can continue to do it and not get the jitters, I'll give credit where credit is due. And I think we might make a run for the playoffs. I said we're easily, with quarterback playing 8-8 or 9-17. We haven't even got to the meat of the schedule. We have the hardest schedule in the NFL this year.
Yeah. And that's weird because the teams who win the Super Bowls are supposed to have the hardest schedule, but I'm not going to go there right now. All right. So the question I want to ask you before we end the segment is, who was your standout of week 1?
My standout has to go to Alex Smith, hands down. I mean, he was literally the best quarterback on the field and did what he was supposed to do. He didn't fall under pressure. He didn't try to force things. He physically led his team to a win, and that's something that Alex Smith, even 2011 playoff Alex Smith with that lucky shot to the catch number 2 to Vernon Davis. But this was literally, I'm going to lead this team. I'm going to take it by the reins and win. And Alex Smith did exactly that. What about you? What do you think?
I'm going to go with a rookie. I'm going to go with Carson Wentz. The reason I'm going to go with Carson Wentz is because he's still not fully healed. But the coach of the Eagles gave this man the reins of the team that he is going to lead in the future. And he showed poise, he showed accuracy, and he showed that he has an arm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, it was against Cleveland's defense. He still has some stars on it. So my player of the week this week, in my opinion, was Carson Wentz.
That's fair enough. I like that pick. It definitely makes a lot of sense. Carson Wentz did his thing, surprisingly did his thing, because everybody really underestimates the Browns' defense. They have talent. The scheme might not be fully implemented, but they have talent. And sometimes if you have enough talent, the scheme will work. If Carson Wentz performs well in the next couple weeks, we already know that he's the real deal. I mean, the Montana State standout. Whoever thought that a quarterback from Montana State would be the best quarterback, one of the best rookie quarterbacks of the whole class? Yeah. I didn't think so.
Maybe the Rams shouldn't have picked Jared Goff. Maybe they should have went with Carson Wentz. They had a chance to.
Yeah, they should have.
But anyway, we're going to end this shit tonight so that man can go get his workout on. J-Blaq, any final thoughts?
Yes. Carolina 49ers is going to be an ugly defensive matchup. I'd be surprised if both teams score a total of 20 points. Plus, it's going to rain in Carolina. So you better grab your umbrellas and your mud jackets ready. It's going to be an ugly one.
Yeah, I got no final thoughts this week. I think I said everything I got to say tonight. This is myself. That's been the homie J-Blaq.
Yes, sir.
We will be back, Saturday with the NFL talk?
Yeah, Saturday.
Friday night with the wrestling talk?
Yeah, Friday night with the wrestling talk, because we got to talk about some stuff. If you haven't watched SmackDown yet.
I got some fucking things on my mind from Backlash, too. I still haven't watched SmackDown. Backlash pissed me off, and you're going to hear about it. Trust me.
Oh, I know. SmackDown may make a little bit more sense, but it might piss you off even more at the same time. So I just want to prepare you for that. I've already watched the first 30 minutes of it, and I've made sense, and I'm still pissed. I'm more pissed off because it makes sense. So.
No, I'm going to admit the way Backlash ended didn't piss me off. It was something that happened before that really got to me.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that on Friday night.
Of course.
You go have fun in the gym.
Yes, sir.
If you guys like the series, hit the like button, subscribe, talk to us. We'll answer any questions you guys have on the next episode. But this has been your boy Big Sin. That's Hollywood J-Blaq.
Yo, sir.
And we will catch you next time on NFL Talk. Deuces.
Right on. Deuce.